Hello my friends, welcome back to another video at Hammond.com. Today I'm going to be talking about something that is so exciting, is so incredible, and you've probably already started to recognize that this is occurring, but I want to give you some deeper insight into why the world is waking up. It's happening rapidly, and in fact I wrote an article about this about 7 months ago when I initially planned on creating Hammond.com. I wish I had been able to get this out to you guys sooner, but better late than never, right? So here's what's happening. Two things simultaneously, and both are very scientific, right? It's a spiritual awakening that's happening right now on the planet, but it's very, very scientific, which is really exciting because even the people who, really want to see the facts, even those people can see and acknowledge the fact that this is occurring on the planet. So there's two things occurring simultaneously. One, the magnetic field of the Earth is declining. Now don't freak out, okay? This is not like, oh, the world's over. This is a natural cycle that the Earth goes through. I believe it's a 10,000 year cycle, and the magnetic field changes in strength over the course of this cycle. What's happening right now is that it's at nearly a 1 out of 10 in strength. If 10 was the highest the magnetic field of the Earth could be, it's right now at about a 1.5 in strength. Why does that matter? Well, when they first started putting astronauts up in space, they noticed that after about 2 weeks of being in space, they would start going delirious and really start losing their mind. The reason this was happening, they discovered, is that the Earth's magnetic field is what allows our brains to function in the way that they do. It's what allows our logical minds to function correctly inside of deep thought. And without it, you start to lose that ability. So what they started doing was putting magnetic field generators on spacesuits to make up for that. Now, how does this apply to everybody here on Earth as the magnetic field begins to decline? Well, our identification with our brain and the old ways of egoic thinking are starting to dissipate. And what this is allowing is our hearts to open up and our heart consciousness to open up. So as opposed to like, profits are the most important thing and it doesn't matter if I blow up this whole mountain ridge to go extract a whole bunch of coal, we're starting to think of like the Mother Earth is precious and we shouldn't blow it up, right? Instead of thinking like slave labor is okay as long as our stocks go up, we're starting to think there's enough in abundance in a world for everyone to live harmoniously, right? These are egoic ideas versus heart-centered ideas. And as our brain starts to kind of just slow down a little bit, our heart consciousness starts to flower, because they've actually proven as well that your heart has thoughts and your stomach has thoughts. These have both been shown by science as well. So our brain is not the only thing that thinks in our body. And our brain, though, is where the ego does most of its work. Our heart is centered in truth. So that's what's happening with the whole magnetic field declining, is that people are starting to wake up to their heart-centeredness and their ability to connect with each other, and the fact that we're all a unified species and that we're all unified as, just part of this big energy. Really, we are all one. That kind of philosophy. Now, the other thing that's happening simultaneously is that where technology has gone, the information, or the spread of information, has reached basically the tipping point. Almost everybody's on Facebook. Almost everybody's been on YouTube. More people in the world have the internet than don't. Okay, it's the tipping point, because what this allows is a spread of truth. Okay, we're starting to figure out a lot of the things that aren't so truthful about the way the world is running, be it corporations, be it governments, be it environmental policies, be it wars, all those things. We're starting to see a little bit behind the lines. It's why these protests are happening. It's why this conversation is occurring, that the world needs change. It's why the economies are collapsing. It's why all these things are going on right now. It's also why there's an incredible amount of natural disasters occurring, because this is all part of the same cycle that's occurring. This is a shift, and change isn't always the easiest thing. So there's a lot of strife going on in the world right now. There's a lack of certainty in where the future lies, because we're right in the middle of this huge shift. So the combination of the magnetic shift that's bringing our consciousness to new levels, as well as the social shift that's occurring with the spread of information, we're entering into this really exciting time. I'm going to talk a lot more about this in a lot of other videos with a lot more points to make on it and a lot more great information for you guys, because I've really been heavily researching this for the last 6 months or so. But in this video, I just wanted to share the basics of what's going on and some scientific reasons why it's going on. There's some very spiritual reasons as well, which I'll get into in some other videos. So if you guys have comments, if you guys think this is interesting, please share it with your friends, comment below, and I'll check you guys in another video.